Check out this flank. Now that's a good lurk, but most lurks look more like this. So I'm going to break down 4 levels of lurking from silver to pro to show you how you're lurking wrong and why this round was so impressive. But first, our sponsor. If you want to earn money from CSGO so you don't have to switch to Valorant, maybe you should learn about our sponsor, Buff. Buff lets you play your favorite games while earning skins, gift cards, or many other things easily. All you have to do is download the free Buff app and have it running in the background while you play one of its many supported games. These games include CSGO, League of Legends, Rocket League, Vala, Nobody Likes That Game, and many more. The Buff app is completely safe to use as it's built on the Overwolf platform, and if you're wondering how Buff makes money, they earn money safely through ads and premium subs. If you're interested, head down and click the link in the description to earn some free stuff. Sign up using my link and you get an extra 70 buff points to get you started. One of the easiest ways to tell someone's rank is to watch them lurk because it requires such a wide set of skills. For example, you'll often see higher level teams send a player towards middle to apply some pressure and prevent rotates, but Hosamachi, who is silver 2 and submitted this demo, doesn't go towards underpass and split A. Instead, he decides to lurk B, which is generally just too far away to actually get anything done. Nobody's going to flank through B with a sight hit this early, and by the time he actually gets anything done here, his team is already fighting at top connector. In fact, he's going so slowly that the B player from the CTs is already on A before he ever drops onto the bomb site here, and his team is probably raging at him. So because a lot of lurkers just do nothing on the far side of the map, you then have a lot of players that just think you shouldn't have a lurker at all, like Ramen275 here. His whole team goes banana, and you do have Getty holding the flank, but there's nobody apartments, and the CTs realize, hey, there's no noise here, we can just start flanking. And the thing is, a flank like this doesn't need to get a kill. All he needs to do is trap them in banana, and unless they're rushing B, which they're not, then the CTs can just over-rotate, stack the site, and pretty much automatically win the round as long as he doesn't peek. So you generally want to have a player on the other side of the map holding a bit of control to make sure flanks aren't going to happen. We have Mackers here who is face it 2, and his team is actually going to be hitting towards the A site, which means Vexay on the other side is going to be the one holding some control. And he might be playing a little too aggressive here. I'm not trying to pretend this is perfect, but this is the pressure that will prevent his opponents from rotating, and you're going to see it very clearly. Because if you watch the other side of the map, Mackers is heading towards apartments, he's going to get himself a kill, and then he's going to have a teammate that begins pushing up middle and finds a kill as well, but those players on banana did not rotate, and Vexay actually gets that information. He ends up dying here, but because he was towards B and had the information that both CTs were still on B site, the player with the bomb runs back A, and when that information gets relayed over, Mackers just makes his way quickly out of apartments to take control, knowing only one player is playing towards A, and they can trade on him for sure. Moving up the ranks, it becomes a little bit less about whether you should be lurking at all and more about how you should be lurking when you do so, because we've got Fala here who is face at 5. His team is going to be making their way out long A, and having a player lurk in tunnels is generally a good idea to hold that map control and prevent a flank, but you gotta have better timing. Okay, similar lurk, but this time on a gun round, and his team is gonna get a kill in middle, which is the easy part of lurking. Things are going well for the other side of the map, they're trying to hit up Cat, you just need to hold control and make sure that going back B is an option if necessary. But when things start to go wrong and one of his teammates ends up dying, that's when Fala can try to be the hero of this round. His team put a lot of pressure on A, and they may have drawn a rotate from one of the B players or the mid player to support Cat, so he can try and isolate this 1v1 and catch someone off guard in B, then secure the bomb site and win his team the round. And that's exactly what's going to happen. He gets the kill, he's got full utility here, and if we just pause, all he needs to do is smoke the door and then maybe get closet or big box and wait for the rotate, but instead he moves forward and dies. Not to say this was a terrible play from Fala, because his team will still win this round, but certainly it wouldn't have required that nice shot from Lightning 42 if he had simply survived. Now, I've mostly shown passive plays that turn into lurks, but it's actually the more aggressive plays that turn into lurks later in the round that often end up being most effective, because you're in positions that lock down a lot of CT angles. For example, here, Pathetic John, he starts to get aggressive here, and he's going to make his way into ladder room in a situation that window is initially 4v5, so the risk made a lot of sense, and he's got a player here that's already lurked his way outside of window, and these two positions lock down the entirety of the fast rotates between the bomb sites, so you can use these spots to go either A or B really well, and that Molotov is actually going to allow Senny here to make his way up into window, and because the CTs have lost so much control, even in a 4v4, they know they have to get aggressive to take some control back, and Senny here will use that to get a kill that really should have been a lot easier than it looked there, and that's actually going to prompt a bit of a rotate from this player off of B. Unfortunately though, Pathetic John just wasn't quite far enough forward, and he doesn't hit the shot, but still he's in a great position now to make it very awkward for the CTs to hold B, and he's going to use that position to get himself a kill, and now they're in a 2v1 that should be pretty easily winnable, and it is. And that brings us to this round here that, despite not being a pro game, it's a Face It 9 game submitted by Mingus, really shows how good lurking can and should be, because they're going to open up 4v5, and they're going to use that and turn it around completely on its head, because Mingus here towards A, he could get a bit more aggressive here to try and kill the A player before the rotate comes in, but once he does get the kill, that allows Hex C, who is also ending up to be a bit of a lurker here through underpass. Now he knows that the connector player is going to commit to A to support, and the cat player is going to be trying to solo hold mid. He uses that to get himself a kill, and then you have another player that's turned into a lurker here, Joy XTC, who is going to move his way forward, knowing that off of a cat player dying, the B player is going to worry about cat, and he gets himself the kill. But we're not done there. There's more, because off of that kill, Mingus considers going B, but knows the pressure put on by that kill will draw the rotates, and he doesn't have time to get there before the rotates get there. So Joy doesn't go too aggressive. Again, this is another great play. Doesn't go too aggressive. He just holds the control. He gives them the rope to make the mistakes himself and gets another kill. Mingus gets the free plant on A, and Jetta here is sitting here like, wait, hold on, the bomb isn't B? I just got absolutely outplayed. That is how lurking can be done. It's really about using pressure your team has applied to get into these spots, and if we show ROPS, you can see how that's done. Staying alive, of course, is extremely important, but the main way you'll see players like ROPS kind of manufacture really great ways to have a lot of pressure is by not chaining himself to the idea of being a lurker. This is a play here you'll never see from someone in matchmaking that calls themselves a lurker, because he's first out middle, races to chair, and only then does he consider actually playing a lurk role, and he does so by using his utility to enable his teammates to safely make their way up catwalk, and then he knows once they get that kill that he should be able to lock down the rotates. Now, G2 is actually stacking B, so there won't be any rotates. However, the key here is that ROPS set his team up for success before ever considering holding down the rotates. Now, lurkers and pugs really are one of my biggest pet peeves, because you so rarely see them do types of plays like this that actually have a large amount of impact. So here, 4v5, FaZe are going to make their way out long, and ROPS is leading to create space for Brokey, and then he actually ends up spotting Alexi B in pit. And the way this round plays out, it gets pretty awkward here, but ROPS is actually going to be quite aggressive in a really smart way. He knows this player in pit is probably just going to stand still, and he uses that Molotov to get himself into an angle here to actually support his team making their way up onto the A bomb site. This kill he gets on Manesi is the only reason they have a chance of winning this round, and then when he finishes it off onto Alexi B, his team is in a very good spot, and that really was based on ROPS understanding his team wasn't in a good position and taking the risk on himself. Now, you may have noticed those two smokes on long looked a lot like lurk smokes, and as the name implies, lurk smokes are extremely effective for lurkers, not only for yourself, but also to use as fakes while you rotate off, or as in this case, to go aggressive. And you're going to see ROPS drop this smoke down. Now, the typical response from Config here is to molly behind it, so a solo player can't use it as a one-way to kill you, but he doesn't have a molly, so he goes forward, and that baits him into the perfect position to get killed immediately. And then Glaive is completely alone on the bomb site here, and Rain is going to get that kill. And that's really based off the idea that you can use that lurk smoke in 3 different ways, and this time, FaZe used it to get aggressive. So what really makes a good lurker, and what makes ROPS one of the best, isn't that he lurks every round. In fact, he very often goes with his team. It's his understanding of timings and when he should and shouldn't go aggressive, or when he just needs to stay alive, and his ability to keep his opponents guessing and never know what he's going to do next. Anyways, thanks for watching, and check out this video YouTube thinks you'll like.